Continuing the Honourable Member for Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke.
Mr. Chairman, honourable members, it's a pleasure to address the committee to speak to the need for continued investment in the well-being of Canadian Forces members, their families, and our veterans. As the Member of Parliament for Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke, I represent one of the busiest bases in the country, CFB Petawawa, training ground of the Warriors. The women and men of the Canadian Forces do extraordinary work in defending Canada and Canadians at home and abroad, and their operational track record over the past decade is testament to that fact. But, Mr. Chair, we all know that delivering this kind of sustained operational excellence does not come easily. It's only possible because of the professionalism, dedication, and sense of duty of our military personnel, and because they accept hardships, the sacrifices, and the stresses that come with serving in uniform. Of course, we do everything we can to ensure the safety of CF members and the performance of their missions, but no matter how well trained they are, no matter how well equipped they may be, there will always be risks involved with military personnel. And that's why we also have a responsibility to provide them and the families who support them and depend upon them with the care and support they need throughout their career and beyond. Mr. Chair, I'm proud to be part of a government that makes our brave women and men in uniform one of its top priorities. As stated in the Canada First Defence Strategy, unveiled in 2008, personnel are one of the 4 essential pillars upon which we build our military capabilities. Since coming to office in 2006, this government has taken steps to improve the care we provide to our personnel, their families, and veterans. Our approach is premised on the belief that in order to treat our ill, injured, and wounded personnel effectively, we must coordinate our efforts, from recovery to rehabilitation and reintegration. Of course, for this comprehensive approach to be successful, we need to ensure that our troops, our veterans, and their families can easily access services. That's why we set up the Joint Personnel Support Unit in 2009. The JPSU, a one-stop service to ill and injured military personnel and their families through a network of 24 integrated personnel support centres on bases and wings across Canada. These centres provide much of the needed services to our military families wherever they're located, by helping our ill and injured along the path for recovery and providing access to rehabilitation programs to aid in the transition to the next phase of their lives. IPSCs ensure that our troops and their loved ones have access to the same high standard of care and support across Canada. But, Mr. Chair, we also recognize that we need more than infrastructure to care for our personnel and their families. Our troops, their families, and our veterans face situations that are often very complex and unique to military life. They need programs and initiatives that address these specific needs. This is especially true of those who are ill or who've been injured or wounded. One of the first initiatives to be launched was Soldier On in 2006. Just this past weekend, Calabogie Peaks Resort hosted Ride the Valley for Soldier On. Canadian Army veteran motorcycle units from across Ontario participated. This is a great program. It helps the recovery of our ill and injured CF personnel by providing them with the opportunities to maintain a healthy and active lifestyle through sport. This past February, Calabogie Ski Resort hosted a winter sports clinic teaching the ill and injured how to ski, and in February of 2013 they'll be doing the same. And in the same vein, we also introduced the Computer Assisted Rehabilitation Environment System, or CAREN system, last year. CAREN is an advanced system that uses virtual reality software to help rehabilitate injured CF members more quickly and effectively. to offer more comprehensive support, not only to our ill and injured Canadian Forces members, but also to the family members who accompany them through the rehabilitation, we launched the Legacy of Care program in 2010. Legacy of Care is designed to facilitate access to a broad range of services, such as adapted accommodation throughout the recovery process, or financial and educational assistance for family members. Also, to provide better financial assistance to military personnel with disabilities, the Minister of National Defence announced just last month that the government is increasing the funding for Service Income Security Insurance Plan, or SISIP, long-term disability program by $113 million. And of course, Mr. Chair, this government recognizes that mental health is just as important as physical health. That's why we've also set up programs and initiatives specifically designed to address psychological or emotional issues, including operational stress injuries. To improve treatment for our personnel dealing with these problems, over 200 mental health practitioners have been hired in recent years through the Canadian Forces Mental Health Initiative. The CF also launched the Be the Difference, a mental health awareness campaign that aims to build a culture of understanding for mental health issues within the Canadian Forces. Because of the great efforts we've made over recent years to address mental health issues, Canada has become a world leader in fighting the stigmatization of post-traumatic stress disorder and other operational stress injuries. I was pleased to learn that CFB Petawawa will soon have 2 psychologists working on the base, providing services to our CF members closer to their homes. But, Mr. Chair, this government recognizes that it's not enough to care for our ill, injured, and wounded CF members. We must also care for their families. They courageously accept the risks, the burdens, and the sacrifices that come with this service. We can never repay extraordinary service and any sacrifice our military families make, but we can work to improve their well-being. That is what this government has done since taking office. In 2007, we set up the Military Families Fund. This wonderful initiative provides our military families in need with short or long-term support, such as emergency financial assistance or educational opportunities. We've also introduced various resources: family liaison officers, the FamilyForces.ca website, and the Family Information Line to easily link the families of our women and men in uniform with the information and services that they need. And of course, Mr. Chair, we've not and cannot forget about the families of the fallen. For them, we introduced the Shoulder to Shoulder initiative in 2011. This program helps the families of our fallen deal with the tragedy of their loss by providing them with the services of counselors and therapists, and by connecting them with volunteers who've lived through similar experiences. Mr. Chair, after a decade of high operational tempo, the CF is now shifting its focus towards building the force of tomorrow, a force capable of meeting the challenges of an evolving and unpredictable security environment. But we always remember that the foundation upon which we build this future force is our women and men in uniforms and their families. They are without a doubt our most precious asset. That's why our approach to care is comprehensive, starting with the service and extending to the military families, the military life, and life after the service. We've outlined this integrated approach in a newly released publication called Caring for Our Own. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.